And
The most cardinal sin of all, bigger than you associating partner with God, way bigger than that, is that you criticize Israel. You can go ahead and bow down to a rock, bow down to whatever God you believe in. You know what I'm saying? You won't get any criticism for that. You can call for a death of another leader. You won't get any criticism for that. You can go ahead and open your leg on the internet in front of both young underage people and people who are over the age, and you will not get any criticism for that. But as soon as you open up your mouth about Israel and the crime that they have committed against the world, you become public enemy number one. You make sense of that, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Megyn Kelly went ahead and did the unthinkable. The biggest sin any American politician or mainstream media can ever commit here in America. Oh no, it's not calling for the death of another country's, leader. Even though Trump is calling out one of the leaders they put a $50 million bounty on one of the leaders down in the South. I forgot exactly what his name is. No, that's not the sin. Blowing up thousands of Muslims in the Middle East, that's not the sin, ladies and gentlemen. The sin is that you criticize Israel. My God. If you criticize Israel, you become the number one target here in America. And you perhaps lose all your financial means. Your whole entire life get destroyed. Why? Because you were against genocide. So this interview right here, when it became very, very viral, and you won't understand why.
You stand too on Israel and all that, but I've been very pro-Israel, and I've been very defensive of their right to defend themselves in this nightmare.
Of course.
And I've been very defensive of American Jews on campuses who are just being harassed. It's ridiculous.
Of course.
But
yeah, you see, the thing with that is that, Columbia University, even though black people were asking for reparation because of their involvement in the slavery, the black people, they got zero dime. But a Jewish person got their feelings hurt, and then these people got $20 million as a reparation because their feelings got hurt. You tell me who's controlling your country.
I have absolutely no skin whatsoever in defending any lobbyist group, including AIPAC.
Right.
So I would love to know what they do to get the loyalty of politicians, because I will say I have had multiple reach outs to me, both from friends and from connected people in DC, begging me to go to Israel with them. And I have said no every time. I'm just too busy. I have 3 kids. I have a full-time job.
So in conclusion, she thinks that the only way that they can probably get the loyalty of the politician is by sending them to Israel and then signing the wall. I mean, not signing, kissing the wall, perhaps signing the bomb. And oh my God, they get the loyalty of Israel. That may be the case for some of them, but the most powerful one of all, oh no. They got Epstein involved for that one.
Sure.
I'm not doing it. But lately, it seems like it's coming to be even more, because I feel like there's a contingent of people who are worried that they're losing me. And I've said that you're not losing. I'm not on Hamas's side.
No, God, no. Nobody's on Hamas's side.
But it's been a while now that this has been going on.
Right.
And we're getting more involved with the Iranian bombing and so on.
Sure.
And my own feelings are, I'm looking at Israel in a different way right now than I was on 10/8, that's for sure, of 23.
Right.
And I can feel the pressure being slightly ratcheted up, like you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. And
the most cardinal sin of all, bigger than you associating partner with God, way bigger than that, is that you criticize Israel. You can go ahead and bow down to a rock, bow down to whatever God you believe in. You know what I'm saying? You won't get any criticism for that. You can call for a death of another leader. You won't get any criticism for that. You can go ahead and open your leg on the internet in front of both young underage people and people who are over the age, and you will not get any criticism for that. But as soon as you open up your mouth about Israel and the crime that they have committed against the world, you become public enemy number one. You make sense of that, ladies and gentlemen.
I can see people like you, like Tucker, who I know Tucker. I've known him for years. And I've seen you in your early career. I know you have nothing against Israel.
Oh, gosh, no.
Never mind Jews. Yeah. That's all a lie. But,
right.
And I see the beatdowns coming. Like, you're not allowed. Like, you have to stay right on this lily pad.
Yes.
And you cannot jump to another neighboring lily pad because it could take you all the way down the river away.
That's
so
right.
I'm very interested in this dynamic.
Yeah. Well, I find it fascinating that you're getting asked more and more and more. I've been asked more and more and more. Well, you're a person of very big influence. You've got a big voice. You've got a large audience. They also take a lot of influencers. They invite tons of influencers.
Many of whom have invited me. Like, we're all going together, and will you come? Like, they seem to be coming at me from a number of ways, which only really kind of raises my hackles. Like, I'm not going. I'm going to stay right here. I can cover this conflict from here, and I don't wish to be wooed by any side. I actually don't wish to be
persuaded. Have you been invited by any other foreign country?
No.
Okay, that's the part, right? So we have tons of lobbyists foreign countries lobbyists that come to Washington, D.C. Pretty much every country has some sort of representative. They have an ambassador they send to Washington. It's naturally in their interest. We can understand that. They also are required to register under FARA. It's a law. They have to register as a foreign agent, a foreign lobbyist. That is required. It's extremely important. Here's the difference with AIPAC. AIPAC is not registered under FARA, under this law that requires anyone coming to lobby a member of Congress or a senator or department of the government and the federal government on behalf of another country. So AIPAC argues, but we're Americans. Yes, they are Americans, but they are coming to Congress and to the federal government asking on behalf of the country of Israel. And I fully agree with you, Megan. We are not against Israel. We are all for their right to defend themselves, just as we are for any Jewish person on campus. Just as I think we could talk about young white males in high school that are constantly getting beat up.
Yeah.
Guess what? They should have a right to defend themselves too, and people should stand up for them as well.
Yeah, you see, that's a really bad equivalence because you see, according to them, there's no Palestinian state. So now, you have a group of people who have a state. They are now oppressing another group of people who do not have a state. Can you really call that self-defense? When you oppress a group of people for so long, they will stand up and fight. It's ingrained in human nature to stand up and fight when you get pushed into a corner. That's just how humans operate. The Israelis went and found the Palestinian in Palestine. The Palestinians opened up their arms to them and welcomed them in. And then later, Lehi, Argun, and I forgot the third one. They went ahead and decided to, import weapon into Israel. And then they did the Nakba, kicking out over 75,000. I think it was 750,000 Palestinians out of their homes. Did the Palestinians start fighting back? Yeah, they did. You stole their home. 75 plus years later, you're still stealing their home. And now these people are fighting back to get back their right. And you say you're defending yourself from stealing their property. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
We think anybody that is a victim should be able to defend themselves. However,
hello, isn't that what Hamas is doing? But they're not supportive of Hamas because you got to understand that somebody who is in a position of politics, you can never, ever support the other side. Ever. It doesn't matter how wrong the Israelis are. As soon as you say, stop killing Palestinians, you become public enemy number one.
Israel is the only country I know of that has some sort of incredible influence and control over nearly every single one of my colleagues. And it is, I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, I believe it just given the amount of reach out I've had in this position. And I don't vote on anything,
Yeah.
And if I had taken money, I could see them really thinking that they had a right to control my speech or, my positions. Right. Which is why I never have, of course. I mean, in what context would I? I don't take advertising from, random people.
Yeah.
I always say, I have Genucel. whose cosmetics are really nice.
We love good cosmetics.
Yeah, but I can't be bought by a special interest group. But I can see it because, look, no one wants to feel like their position has been bought and paid for. But these politicians, they have. And so I can see why AIPAC would get mad if these politicians then turned on them and didn't support. It's like, what did my 3,800 times 3 get me if you're not going to vote for my issues?
Exactly, because AIPAC are Americans, therefore they can legally donate to members of Congress and senators. So let's talk about how that works. AIPAC takes every single that they can, freshman member of Congress or first year in Congress, they take them on a very special trip to Israel in August. August is our recent.
Same thing with if I'm not wrong, I think CIA is also on that list too, but also FBI. When you when you get hired as an FBI or CIA agent, you are required to go visit Auschwitz. These are requirements. Yeah.
It's our month-long district work period. That's
Dems and Republicans, or just Republicans?
They take both of them. Yes, and they invite pretty much everyone, to my knowledge. So they take them on this trip to Israel. I guess they go on tours all around. I didn't go, so I don't know what they do there. But they take them on tours, like the pictures we've seen recently of the speaker and other members of Congress at the Wailing Wall.
They've all gone.
They've all gone.
You see them all.
And they wear the kippah. And even though they're Christians.
I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to watch the whole thing, again, it's going to be under Megyn Kelly's show. That's where you'll get most of her detail from. But in the end, like she said, they go to Israel, they kiss the wall, they get the little yarmulke on their little head right there, because America is being run by Muslims. America is, being taken over by the Muslims. That's why they got to go in the Middle East and kiss the rock. In conclusion, Americans, you have been completely taken over. You haven't realized it. Although you are about 70% of the way there. Because once you find out how far the tentacle goes into America, you will be like, holy shit. The mainstream media, they're taking over. When they create movies, what do you think movies don't really like to criticize the state of Israel? So, mainstream media, movies, social media, all of them except for X, to my knowledge. If you see my previous video, also the Hub. They've also taken over the majority of those as well. And the biggest one of them all, the lawmakers, Congress. Oh man, they got so much dirt on those people, both financially and, when it comes to their morals. It's extremely disgusting. But the good thing is the American people are finally waking up. I'm starting to see more and more video of representative of Israel going on stage and trying to give such beautiful speech, and then they get booed at by both boomers and millennials, which I'm surprised the boomers are on that list. Let's be quite honest. The boomers are the ones who have been brainwashed the most, and some of them are waking up. And if that's the case, God, Israel, you guys have lost the mainstream media battle, bruh. And then they have this, hoax out there saying that Hamas is the reason why America is going the direction that it is. And I'm like, Hamas is busy trying to take back their land and protect their people. And then, pick up the little scrub of food that you guys are feeding them. They're busy doing that. They don't have time to send thousands of dollars here in America to support the, independent journalists or anybody like that. They don't have time to do that. They don't have the money to do that. The only reason people are speaking out is because we see more Palestinians being unalive than Israelis. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Israelis are not getting unalive. That's also happening. But the barbarity is mostly coming from Israeli side on the Palestinians. I mean, there was a poll that recently just got shown. And let me show you this poll. So this is not the poll right here, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm glad I saw this poll before I went ahead and show you guys the other poll that I found. Israelis has killed more than one child every hour since October of 2023. So according to the Israelis, they are going after Hamas. A newborn baby hasn't even reached the age of 1. Yeah. So you do the math, right? And what is something that you've also noticed? None of them are of the age. None of them are of the age to pick up weapon and fight. But no, ladies and gentlemen, Israel's got to defend themselves against, them, because all of them, according to Israel, is Hamas. Now, obviously, this is only kids. Imagine the older people. Imagine people who are buried under the rock that have not yet been shown. Imagine those guys. So that's one. And then the other poll. Now, this is not the actual poll right here, but the percentage is actually true. And if you haven't noticed, just go, I think you can find it on X, right? It was a recent poll that was just shown. So during the war that just, that started from October 7th all the way till now, 83% of the people who were unalive were civilians. And then compare that to Ukraine. The Ukrainian war started what? In 2019? And it's still going on to this day. So 6 years. Vladimir Putin has only unalived 3% of the civilians in Ukraine. And then in Gaza, in the span of almost 2 years now, 83% of the civilians have been unalive. But it's not a genocide, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. What are you talking about? The 83% of the people that died, well, Israel dropped the leaflet, right? They read the leaflet and they didn't move on time. Right. Anyways, thank you for stopping by.